It seems like every year there's some new plague spreading through the world, eating away at humanity like a vile cancer, leaving suffering and death in its wake. Plague rats carry the disease from street to street, from shore to shore. But what happens when people themselves become the plague rats? MAGA zombies have taken over. Prepare for the apocalypse. Of course, the new plague started, albeit secretly, long before COVID and the mask mandate. But I think this was the first time people truly realized that, as a nation, we're fucked. In a lot of countries, like Japan, it is considered normal to wear a mask when one is sick, even with the common cold, and yes, this was pre-COVID. And it just makes sense. Why spread your sickness? Do you want other people to suffer? Because it makes you seem kind of evil. Masks aren't uncomfortable. They do not hinder breathing. This has been proven. But the amount of times I've seen Karens screaming about how they're exempt because they have a fucking doctor's note of all things is nothing short of ridiculous. This isn't high school gym class. This is the real world. People are dying. Grow the fuck up. Just ask your new savior. He's worn a mask since the very beginning, one meant to protect both himself and those in his circle. An enchanted one forged of beautiful lies that's cracked and broken, to be sure, and one that has all but been torn away by the truth a number of times, but you all fell in love with that beautiful mask, so much so that you've chosen to ignore the rabid beast behind it. Wearing a mask when you're sick is just common sense, as well as common courtesy. But America is not good at either of those things, it seems, and unfortunately, it looks as though its people are getting progressively and increasingly dumber as time goes on. Historically, only evil people burn books. Banning them is just as wrong. What happened to freedom of speech? Is it only free for those that use it to offend, harm, or destroy? For those of us that use it to heal, to create, to educate, well, inflation has affected a lot of things, it seems. As a writer, I read a lot. I have to. Not only do I read books to improve my own writing, but as a hobby, an escape, and to keep my mind sharp. Because reading makes you smart. Who knew? Reading fiction is a way to travel the world, sail the seas, explore outer space, and fall down rabbit holes into magical realms, all without ever leaving the comfort of your own home. Reading nonfiction is a way to learn from humanity's past mistakes in hopes that we do not make them again. They're banning the Diary of Anne Frank. Think about that for a minute. I believe in the power of nature. I believe that queer people are more prominent now because cishet people are destroying the planet with overpopulation. After all, homosexuality and transgenderism is found throughout the animal kingdom, but you know what isn't? Queerphobia. It just isn't natural. But I digress. I also strongly believe in survival of the fittest, or in this case, the less stupid, I suppose. Humanity is destroying the world, so what else is the world going to do? Try and protect itself, of course. Natural disasters will just get worse, as will disease and drought. People will starve to death and suffer with sickness and kill each other over food, and we have nothing but capitalism to thank for it. If you don't want to wear your mask or get a vaccine, or you'd rather take horse deworming medication, or want to eat raw pork and get a brain worm, Jesus Christ, that's fine. Go get a disease, spread it to your family, and die from it. Or drink unpasteurized milk and shoot yourself to death. Or try and turn a rabid bear into a pet and be torn limb from limb. Or walk out into traffic and become a pretty little goopy stain in the middle of the road. See? It's all the same. Dumb ways to die. Congratulations, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Nature won't care. You will have made no difference to this world. You will just cease to exist. Your only memory is a listed statistic that more of your people will refuse to read or believe. Humans evolved to love one another. That's how we survive as individuals and as a species, by caring for each other. Why are we the only animal on Earth actively halting and going against our own evolution, our very nature as human beings? Because, I'll let you in on a little secret, the MAGA zombies don't want us to survive. It's as simple as that. But the ironic thing is that they're putting themselves in danger with their decisions just as much as they are us. And trust me, they knew what they were signing up for. MAGA zombies will cut off both of their legs just for the chance to watch us trip over them. They are willing to suffer if it means they can watch us do the same. Absolutely none of them have any sense of self-preservation, let alone any empathy for their fellow man. It seems like a crime against nature, doesn't it? I was raised in a very Christian household, being yelled at about the dangers of the devil and the Antichrist by the very same woman that ended up voting for him. Twice. At this point, I don't think you can be a Christian and be conservative, especially not MAGA. Jesus would have thrown tables and whipped these people silly. Taking the Lord's name in vain doesn't mean saying God fucking damn it or Jesus fucking Christ when you're mad. It means taking your bitter, festering hatred and slapping a Jesus label over it that make yourself feel justified about your wicked deeds. And the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't gay sex. It was their selfishness and greediness for turning their nose up at strangers and immigrants. You know, the very same thing that happened to Mother Mary and Joseph when she was in labor. The same thing we're doing now. The same thing these people want to do to everyone else from here on out. And when a religious person finally says something just a slightly bit similar to Jesus' actual teachings, all hell breaks loose. The MAGA zombies make her enemy number one, but yet they claim to follow Christ. Make it make sense. Freedom of religion also means freedom from religion. Children shouldn't have to be subjected to the Ten Commandments in schools by a government full of wicked men that don't follow any of them. They shouldn't have to stand for the pledge either. We are a country, not a cult. What about Muslim kids, pagan kids, Buddhist kids, atheist kids, queer kids? Do their beliefs not matter? Not to the MAGA zombies. For them, it's all about control. They want you deluded. They want you docile and submissive so they can lead us all like sheep right to the slaughter. We all have to be vigilant. Our representatives have failed us. The Antichrist sits upon the throne now. It's up to us to save our country. I remember my mom and dad sitting me down and telling me not to believe everything I see on the internet, all while they were believing, and still believe, everything they hear from Fox News. Media, a lot of times, is used to educate and influence its audience. Even my work has some nuggets sprinkled throughout I hope my readers will take away. But unfortunately, this can be used to manipulate and indoctrinate, to take someone's prejudice and use it to radicalize them. And our country has been doing that to its people long before I even existed. After all, the best way to bring a country together is to give everyone within it a common enemy. There is currently a mass exodus unfolding. People by the thousands are leaving Twitter and turning to Blue Sky, myself included, and we all know why. It has become a cesspool of queerphobia, racism, and right-wing misinformation. We lost TikTok. No, we did. It's basically bought and paid for by Trump, which means that it is only a matter of time before he gives it to his little space wifey as an anniversary present, and it turns into Twitter 2.0. I've already deleted my TikTok accounts, both for myself and the shop, and I suggest you all do as well. I just don't trust it anymore. Though I do like Red Note. People are fleeing from TikTok to there as well. Those like myself who know that something is coming, something bad. Also, going from one Chinese app to another is a pretty cool fuck you to the government. And for everyone that says the Chinese are stealing our data, so what? Our own government does that, and I trust them even less than I do China. At least the Chinese people I've spoken to on Red Note don't start calling me slurs when they see that I'm queer. Now, I'm no stranger to homophobia. Even when I was closeted and dressed like a basic redneck and acted straight, I got called the F-slur all the time. But all that seemed to fade away once I was out of high school, in real life anyway. You see, the internet has become sort of a last bastion for hatred and prejudice, and also the best way to spread information and misinformation quickly. Twitter stopped fact-checking, and now Facebook and Instagram are following suit, and suddenly Trump basically owns TikTok, the one platform that was filled with his detractors and those of us brave enough to call out his bullshit. Y'all don't think this smells fishy? And now Facebook has deleted messenger themes for trans and non-binary pride, after years of the right demonizing queer people. Interesting, don't you think? Not that queerphobia is a new phenomenon on that app. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. Homophobes seek out posts about being gay, bait everyone by calling them groomer, even though it's a documented fact that most grooming and child abuse comes from cishet men. And then laugh reacting as the erupting flame war causes their enraged victims to get their accounts banned. I've yet to have my account banned, but Facebook has made it clear that they side with queerphobia every time. Even saying something like, "I think you need therapy," as a response to a 7-paragraph comment about how gay people are groomers and abominations, makes Facebook suggest that I delete my comment and give me a warning about offensive language. And it happens far too often to be a glitch. I've tried to refute these claims multiple times over the years, and nothing has ever come of it. Facebook even reached out to tell me that they think they were justified in taking up for this man who told me to kill myself. And if it was that bad back then, just wait until shit really starts to get going later on this year. These next 4 years are going to be a bumpy ride, my friends. Meta, like a number of businesses, were only pretending to give a shit about us because it's trendy and it will get them lots of money. It's called rainbow capitalism, and as someone from a small southern hometown, I really don't see a difference between it and those little old church ladies that would tell me that Jesus still loves me even though I'm gay, only to laugh and tell their friends I'm going to hell as soon as I walk away. It's fake. It's gross. They never cared. They just wanted money from queer folks, and trust me, Sucky Zuckerberg has been laughing all the way to the bank, baby. And now they're going after Wikipedia. They want everyone to stay blind and stupid so they can control us more easily. Their version of free speech is literally just insulting the other side, which is insane to me. The words cis and cisgender are still blocked on Twitter, but the T-slur isn't. Cis isn't a slur. It's a scientific term, for God's sake. Sissy, however, that is absolutely a slur, and I will use it until the day I die. Don't have a sissy fit over it. The right has been demonizing queer people for years. There's a reason for that. It's all coming together, and we need to be ready for when shit hits the fan. If you haven't deleted your TikTok, I suggest you do. I may even delete my Facebook and Instagram. But if you don't delete your social media, please delete some of your posts and comments, because with this new authoritarian regime rising, everything we posted is going to come back and bite us in the ass. I've already started a social media purge of my own. The plague is spreading, and now through social media, it's spreading even faster. There's no stopping it now. We just have to be ready to fight. So, all in all, the new plague isn't a disease that affects the body as much as it does the mind. The phrase woke mind virus, God, I can't believe I just fucking said that out loud. I can feel my IQ depleting. Is an oxymoron. Anti-wokeness and MAGA are the mental health issue here. It's actually all willful ignorance and choosing to live in the falsehoods and fantasy land of faith instead of fact-based science. Facts don't care about your feelings, right? Or is that just for your made-up facts? Citation needed. Is the country truly flooded with MAGA zombies, or are their numbers faked? Was what happened in November real and legitimate? I really don't think it was. After all, the Antichrist himself said it was rigged, straight from the gilded whore's mouth. Yes, I'm scared, not just for me, but for the immigrant families that are being torn apart, the women losing their bodily autonomy, my fellow queer people watching their rights be stripped away. But a part of me thinks that this is what has to happen. since before any of us were even here, the left has tried to build America into something we can truly be proud of, be safe in, and thrive within, and conservatives just knock it all back down. Maybe this way, this accursed country, which was built on a literal Native American burial ground, on the backs of slaves, can go down in a blaze of glory and start anew. A better form of America, founded on unity instead of racism and prejudice. We just have to survive and fight through this long dark night until we finally see that sunrise in the distance. Either way, the MAGA zombies are here, and the plague is going to spread. Don't get bit. At the end of the day, without a decent education system here, America's freedom of choice has become a bit of a double-edged sword, because some people are just too stupid to make the right decisions, and you can bet that this was the right's plan all along. You have your freedom, you don't have to wear a mask or get a shot. You can get rid of the already shitty FDA so more people can eat raw pork and get brain worms or drink unpasteurized milk and shit themselves to death. But choosing to remain in ignorance because it makes you feel safer to surround yourself with others who also hate people of color, queer people, and women is eventually going to cost you your life, or the life of someone you love. We have our freedom too, for now. And I, for one, will go down fighting. I hope my comrades will stand by my side when that day comes. You can take the little M or F or X off of our license, but you can never take away who we are. Letters don't change reality, and I just know that's eating all of you up on the inside.